Who really shot Larry Flynt, of publisher of Hustler magazine? I want to, after all these years, and I don't have room to go back and pick up this video and YouTube and on Facebook. What I wanted to say here was he endorsed me as a candidate for U.S. Congress to replace Congressman Larry McDonald, doctor, in August the 31st of 83. He furnished me a car, but here's what I wanted to put. He says that he supported me, and I know who was responsible for his shooting in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I was doing the book about mind control shooting, programming people. And he says Larry McDonald was a part of his shooting in Lawrenceville, Georgia, while I was doing the book in March of 78. Then I flew out to his home in 83 because the doctor was supposed to have gone down in the KAL en route from Alaska to Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea. The plane was shot down supposedly with Larry McDonald on it. But the point just prior to takeoff, Nixon was taken off. Former President Nixon was on that flight, and he was taken off, so they knew it was going down. Now, whether Larry McDonald was really on the plane or they took the whole plane with 260 plus, I don't know. Anyway, the point I wanted to make is here. This is in April issue of 84. And I'm going to go back to Joseph Paul Franken was the one who was convicted of shooting Larry Flynt and paralyzed him from his neck down. And he was executed. Okay, he was executed when? I didn't get the date he was executed. Anyway, no, I didn't. Anyway, he was executed. Now, the difference, this man's name is Joseph Franken. I'm going to switch here a minute, and I'm sorry about this, but I'm in bad health myself and situation living even. Okay, Joseph Franken is put to death, evidently, for the shooting of Mr. Flynt, so he was executed. Okay, now then, Mr. Flynt, when I'm out there in this endorsement says that he's just confirmed part of what I'm saying, that Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, was part of his shooting. I put that down here. I'll put it down again. Anyway, I put this up. Now, I wanted to, so that's contradictory right there. It's, but not really, because the program shooters, except this man would have been, Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, was cold-blooded murder. So it have been a lot of it. I wanted to get back here. Maybe I'm scooting around here with it, trying to get this up. Ruth Carter Stapleton was out there when he was shot. Sister to President Carter. Now, Carter was Georgia, okay, while I was living there and all that, and I thought he was the good guy. Okay, his sister, and I was told when I was out there that Stapleton, her husband, was the end to Jimmy Carter. Okay, when I was en route out there, the ticket furnished to Larry Flynt's Bel Air, and this is after the plane, it's about October the 1st of 83, and he was helping me in that campaign to replace Larry McDonald. Okay, I heard en route that Ruth Carter Stapleton died, I believe it was of cancer. She had been out to Hustler magazine, and supposedly he was born again. I got to tell you, Jerry Falwell is supposed to be born again out there. Jerry Falwell, excuse me, Mr. Flynn, if I contradict you, how many times do you have to be saved? I think it's more that they need to be saved, do you think? Right? So here I'm talking to Mr. Flynn on the oh God, I might as well laugh. I'm about to die. So where was I? Help. So anyway, they changed the death of Ruth Carter Stapleton. I swear they have. But anyway, she was also okay. She knew Mr. Flint was at his home just prior to his shooting. Now then, she was out there later, and then I'm flown out there October the 1st of 83, and I hear that she has just died from cancer. Now, I go back now, and they've changed the date on it, like they have some other things that I know that are true. Anyway, I want to focus here, if you don't mind, and I know where I was on that date. The Martin Luther King Civil Rights Movement was shot April the 4th, and I told that of 1968, when I had the Hustler car, left the 1st of March of 84, and I was en route out to Mr. Flint's. I was going to return the car. Of course, they didn't take it, and that gets to be a whole other thing. But I stopped by. I didn't mean to. I was just broke. I was driving a brand new car leased by him, but I was broke. I stopped, and I didn't know that's where Martin Luther King had been shot, by the Lorraine Motel, because it was cheap and the only thing I could get for that night. And I found out later, well, I was told then the next morning that's where Martin Luther King had been shot. I think they gave me the same room that he was standing in front of. And you ask what Martin Luther King's got to do with all this. Martin Luther King partnered with John JFK Kennedy that helped kidnap me, and their aim is to take down the British Empire. And then Jimmy Carter, this is the Illuminati people. I didn't think Jimmy Carter was, but they band together. He, after Martin Luther King, remember he's supposed to be for civil rights, he partnered with Kennedy. They all used me as hostage and scapegoat and a pawn. So to hell with civil rights, I've never known one. I really haven't. But if I'm babbling here, I'm just going to get off. I've told you enough here. Your UN is your front for the Illuminati that kidnapped me and took down my father. And here you've got Carter, when he became president, he appointed not James Earl Ray, he appointed Reverend Martin, excuse me, I am tired this morning. Well, who in the heck was the Reverend? I was in his office. He was with Martin Luther King when he was shot. Well, Andrew Young. Okay, Carter appoints him UN ambassador, and he goes to South Africa, and you got this whole really overthrow of the British government. While they're holding me hostage in April Fool Day of 80, I almost died, but I was put on the table, and I almost died with Victor Gonzalez, who's still in practice there in Atlanta, and Beecham, Paul Beecham, and those that were tried to kill me. April Fool Day, this is back when Nixon was president in 1972. And the Watergate tapes were subpoenaed, and there's an 18-minute gap in it. You should see what's on the gap. It's Henry Kissinger, who was Secretary of State and Defense, also under Richard Nixon. He's on there ordering, and you should know the condition I'm in. If the Brits don't come through with his demand, they're going to follow through with it. Well, the Brits did, so I lived to die another day. I guess if this sounds garbled, then maybe somebody should walk in my shoes for a minute and not get mad at me because I'm paying for the crimes that the United States committed and part of my own family and Sir Winston Churchill, the traitor. They're war criminals. And me and my sons have paid the price, and my mom and dad and some Brits. And for the and Germans have paid the price. Now, for the Americans that have helped me, I hope there's a day coming that this is all told and the good get rewarded and the others go to hell.